Hello everybody, my name is Enza and welcome back to Spiral into the Void. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about opening our hearts while doing a little art piece of exactly that. So I got my little fairies over here, my amethyst, lapis, this beautiful rock I found in a pond. See if you can see that. That's so beautiful. Okay, so let's begin. Like, a lot of us have grown up on the idea that there's a certain way of doing things, right? And if we don't do it that way, then it's not going to work out in our favor, or like we're setting ourselves up for a failure, which in the end none of that shit matters, but that's for a different video. Because I constantly had this way of thinking, when it came to the idea of healing my heart, well, I was constantly searching ways to do it. And there was people saying the only way to heal your heart is to open your heart, to start forgiving, and to start to start showing compassion and everything. So I went into the experience of trying to open myself up to things and open my heart with the idea that the way to open it was with complete and full acceptance of everything, no matter things that had hurt me or things that I experienced in my life. I thought that the only way for me to open my heart was going to be through just accepting everything as it comes and having to forgive it no matter what feelings it arises with. And that led me to start pushing away my feelings, which is basically toxic positivity, saying, oh yeah, you know, like everything's okay, everything's fine, everything happens for a reason, there's no reason for me to over stress about this because that will disturb my being. But the thing that I was forgetting, or the thing that I did not really realize at the time, was that the only way for me to open my heart is to feel the pain of those emotions and to feel the way that I needed to feel so that I can release that pain through an eye of love, because I decided to accept and understand it. But what I learned as I was doing this was that my heart was closing more because I wasn't being compassionate towards myself. I wasn't exactly being compassionate towards other people. What I was doing was I was closing my heart more and not allowing myself to feel what it needed to feel, to release what needed to be released, to speak my truth, to tell other people how I was feeling, because I thought that I had to constantly, like, you know, close myself off in order to feel compassion for them and to not blame them for what they're going through and what I thought was like, oh, you know, like they're just really struggling right now, like I can't blame them, so I'm not going to say anything, right? And this led me to holding a lot of stuff inside of me, which me thinking, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us do this, like where we give to so many people and we call that being a compassionate person or being an open-hearted person. But the idea of that is that, are you doing it through a place of love, or are you doing it through a place of wanting to be liked, right? When we work from our heart centers, through our true heart centers, we're working through this beautiful creative energy, unconditional love space. But when we decide to start putting conditions for people and for situations and everything, it no longer becomes something that makes us feel safe anymore. My heart became so closed to everything and to everyone, and at one point I just became so drained because I was consistently putting a job for my heart, but my heart didn't need a job. It already had its own job just to keep me alive, but I was constantly putting this burden on it and constantly saying like, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that, why can't you just be more loving, why can't you just be more like that, to a point that my heart felt so constricted that it started beating crazy. And that's when I developed a heart arrhythmia, and I was in hospital, and I could just feel myself like fading away because of how much pressure I was putting on myself to feel the way that I thought that I needed to feel in order to feel love. And it was during that time that I was showing myself such conditional love. I just remember how stressful it was because I was trying to blame other people for how I felt and how people took advantage of me and my the good things that I would do, only to realize that the person that was hurting myself the most was me. When we close our hearts, right, we don't let people in. We're trying to protect ourselves from harm. We're trying to protect ourselves from either it's like situations that we've had in the past that caused us to barricade our hearts and to not trust people anymore, and to not love ourselves or believe in our self-worth anymore. So it gets to a point where our hearts just can't take it anymore and just feels more and more small as the days go by. I'm pretty sure if you feel self-conscious or you don't really like yourself that much, you feel really small, and that's exactly a reflection of what's going on inside of you. So when we actually open our hearts and allow ourselves to feel and to express, it is a fucking painful journey, okay? A lot of the times people will open their hearts, see how painful it is, and close them off again, resorting back to old habits, feeling like just way too overwhelming for them to be in that mindset, to be in that place that allows them to feel everything. So we do things every day to try to feel different, right? Or like when you're in pain, when you've dealt with something hard in your life, a heartbreak, or losing someone really close to you, a friend, whatever it is that really hurt you, right? Our first initial thought, because of society program, is find a way to make yourself happy in that situation. But the only way for you to heal that situation is not to keep putting band-aids on it and to hope that it will go away. We could try that as much as we want to, and we can say that, oh, it helped so much to just get away for a while or whatever. But the reality is that if you don't let yourself feel and you don't let yourself express the way that you are feeling, those feelings get trapped up inside. And when feelings get trapped up, especially ones that get trapped in your heart, it can be really, really debilitating, and it can feel like a burden that you really don't want to carry. But it's there because there was no way of it to be released in that moment. You really allow yourself to sit in that space and to sit with those feelings and emotions and everything that might come from it. It's actually a great opportunity where you can begin to be creative again, because you are allowing whatever it is you're feeling to flow through you. When you have that, when you're creative and like, you know, like you have writer's block or whatever, it's because there's something within you that you are not expressing, something in your true being that you're not allowing to come out and to come forward, whatever that may be. And that's why you get writer's block, because you're like, well, I don't really know what to talk about today, or I don't really know what I'm supposed to be feeling today. And we call it a block, but no, it's just another breakthrough, and it's going to be a breakthrough that's going to bring something else forward to the table. It's not always going to but when we try to control it and we try to say, no, I have to get something done, it's no more working from the heart, it's more working from an egotistical place where we're not allowing ourselves to enter this state that is going to allow us to create, but instead enter a state that kind of reverts back to these old habits. Like I said before, giving that space conditional love by saying, oh, I love you, heart space, oh, but only if you give me this creativity. Conditional love is damaging. Whether it's done when you're young, whether it's done when you're old, it is so damaging because it puts the other person in fear that if they make one wrong mistake, that they can no longer be loved. And unconditional love has like this beautiful, healing, magnifying energy that even in those times where you feel as if you are in a creative drought or you are just in a bad place, that things will be okay because you're giving that space to feel that emptiness. You're giving space to feel that, well, I don't really know what to paint today, or I'm not that creative today. Instead of judging yourself for it, you're just like, that's just not my mood today. And then find something that is, and like whatever your vibration matches for the day is going to be something that you are going to enjoy doing. So I'm going to read you guys the channeled message. So I asked my guides, how can I open my heart fully without without setting ways for it to open. And, you know, I just kind of waited for answers to make themselves clear to me. This is what I received. It says, the heart is like a flower that is always open, that accepts all that comes to it and what needs to leave. But it does this through acknowledgement. If we have a strong feeling inside of us and we attempt to bury it or say we let go without acknowledging and feeling it, then we don't necessarily know what we are letting go of. If we don't know its source, then we don't know its true pain. If we don't make peace with that source, we carry its pain and it becomes heavier and heavier. The way to open your heart is not to be overwhelmed or underwhelmed, but it's to feel and to see clearly, unlearn the ways, and be able to express yourself. Exactly what the guide said. It's to be able to feel and see clearly, not in that extreme, like, it's either this or that kind of thinking, right? Letting yourself feel that very real human experience that we go through every day, because this is like things that we've been taught, right? The way to feel and the way to react to things. So it's a very hard process when people say, oh, just let go of it, right? That's not gonna happen. But yeah, here is the finished product. It is basically, so what it is it's a heart, but it's also somebody's face and part of their brain, saying like it's all connected, and what is around it is just like the soul. So I really loved making this video today, and I really hope that I helped some of you guys that are struggling with the idea of opening your hearts, or feeling like you're trying but it's just not allowing you, like you're not seeing a breakthrough, or you're not feeling like any sort of way. You can follow my Instagram at Spiral Into the Void. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to spiral into the void. Peace out, friends.